Gargoyles watch with stony gaze, guardians of endless maze. Pipe organ's breath begins to rise, filling air with mournful ties. Whispering shadows secrets keep in the depths where night meets sleep. Underneath the velvet gloom, guardians of the haunted room.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. With any luck, I have pressed all of the right buttons, and we're here, and you are beset with the Lady Red of the Black Pants thing, and also there's a Lictor, and he has 3 hats, and that's awesome. Hi, Lictor.
Hello.
How are you
I do
doing?
appreciate the hats. I have hats and a crab.
You do. Yes, the crab is sheltering behind you, probably for safety reasons. Goob for the goob hole. Yes, please press goob button. Make goob happen. Engoobening must occur.
How do you fleshlings accumulate so much goob? And what do you use it for?
Mostly throwing at me periodically so that I can shitpost Unto the Void forever. Oh no, Grimos has been inspired by me. What have I inspired this time? What did I do? Witch Hat Atelier. Oh, okay. Okay. I know what Witch Hat Atelier is. I'm concerned how these two things have become cross-contaminated. What have you done? I am now knee-deep in world building. Excellent. Excellent. What sort of thing are you building?
I wish to know more. Someone just said world building. Red, did you see that? Someone said world building.
They did. They're doing the thing. Fantasy. Excellent. Fuzzy says, I am doing a Digitan run. If she tanks, it's your fault. Funny you should say that. Guess who I'm also currently in the middle of a run with? I'm also running Digitan today. And if she tanks, it'll be your fault, Fuzzy.
No, it'll be Chet's fault.
We are diverting into Hont's chat for a minute. I was having a time with El Condor Pasa yesterday. I don't know if Aiden could hear me swearing from the bathroom, but 3 runs and she just refused to win the derby for no good goddamn reason. I don't know whose fault that is. I'm going to blame Troa. It's because Troa put tea in the microwave. Okay, enough Hans talk.
Some sins. The stain of some sins never fades away.
Turt says I blame Goldchip. Goldchip wasn't involved. Out of all 3 derby runs, Goldchip wasn't there. It was goddamn special week that was giving me the problems. Samurai says be right back, putting tea in the air fryer. Oh my god.
Samurai just put down 42,000 goob.
Wow, that is a lot that has been donated. 48,000 from Mercury Alpha X so far. You guys have been doing amazing. Turtz has dropped 36,000. Ed is up to 20,000. Bully Snake 38,000. 4K from Introspective, 16K from Fuzzy, 24 from Wilf. You guys have been doing amazing things. Thank you very, very much. And seeing as you guys are here, and you're here at the beginning of my stream, if we don't quite hit the number, we have options. Don't worry about it, but please keep up the goob.
Okay. Pinch of Mensch.
That is a username. That is a heck of a username. That is great.
That is a username. A Pinch of Mensch. Up to 30,000 goob. There's a lot of goob here.
There is a lot of goob here. Let me click on buttons and we'll see exactly where we are at. We are at 22%.
UNC Samurai, you are a sinner, and there's a special place on Scorpion Hell for your thoughts.
We would help more goob, but Twitch won't let us. Yeah.
One day we will make an entire stream of me recounting every version of hell I've had to use over the years, and we will do pigeonholing. We will pick a hell, and we'll put every single one of chat members in whatever hell that fits them the most.
Yeah, and then Zork will turn up and invent like 6 new hells just off the top of his head, and that's...
Yeah, that's true. But then again, he'll just be in middle management hell.
It's true. It is true. No, I appreciate you all very, very much. I've managed to get 2 art projects off my table this week. I've got another one over the course of the coming week to do, and then it will be furiously drawing the piece for the Goop Drive, because I believe in you guys, and we're going to hit the number. We are going to get over 9 million. Though
Yes.
Hausakar has said that he has some concerns about that 9 million and 1. He thinks that 1 goob might be just a goob too far, but we will see. We will find out.
If we will get to that point, I will put down the goop for it. Okay?
My God,
you
that
can
one
get, you
extra
can
goob.
give that would be just me, just the finger on the weights, the wind of fate shifting ever so slightly to make one thing turn into another.
You will then have...
Grimos, how in the blue blazes? How the Mickey Mink? What? How?
Gambling on Sundays on wrestling stream. That's how. Also, just being here all the time, watching all the things. You guys are fantastic for that. Which our watch
Orc
streaks
Slayers.
prove.
Orc Slayers exist.
Yes.
UNC Samurai can clear almost a third on their lonesome.
If we had the
What the
ability for just, whatever limit people wanted to dump into this to go, Night Owl could have just bought this instantly. I'm sure. I'm certain Night Owl has enough goob to just go, yes, I have funded the entire goob thing. And I know Night Owl is not alone. So, limits
I don't.
are a thing.
Okay, I'm sorry. My ability to math has been debunked. Apparently, mathematics and time aren't real. Sorry, guys. We can
just
close
have-
up shop.
we just have
Time
some
isn't real.
Very dedicated viewers is what we have, which we appreciate very much. And you guys will have a 3-month reprieve before the end of year Goob Drive begins. And then we'll be, doing it all over again for a really stupid thing that we'll probably be talking about today. Because I have not written this week, and I am jonesing about it. I am having withdrawals about it, but I just had other things I had to get off my desk. So I just focused on getting those done. And they're done, and I feel good about it. And it's nice.
You did very pretty things.
I did. I'm pretty pleased. I'm pretty pleased, and the client is pleased, which is, the ultimate goal as an artist is, that the person who trusted you with their idea is happy with the thing that you made. That's always nice.
Yes.
But it means I did not write this week, but that's okay because we hadn't fully finished solving all of our snags. So I think we will finish solving our snags this week. And then I
Primrose,
thought the
you live in a swamp.
ooh, yeah, that's reminding me of when Aiden and I lived in Florida. It would be over 90 degrees and over 90% humidity just day in and day out, and you just could not go outside. It was just awful.
No, your hats fell off.
Oh no! Thank goodness you have replaced your ad repellent hat. You're
Very
in
good.
New England. Oh, I mean, we had it in Florida. I'm sorry you're having it in New England, and we have hit thing. Thing has happened. We've hit 10 subscribes. Oh God! Good job, chat. Red, you picked the right year to bail on the southeast. Yeah, I mean, I like Florida. I've had some nice times down there. When we lived in Milton, it was very pleasant. We lived in a nice old 70s brick built, which made dealing with the weather very nice, and it was close enough to the coast that things were okay. When we did the Jacksonville area, I object to stepping into the ocean, and the ocean is lukewarm. Ocean should be cold. That was not as nice. I met some very nice people down there. We had wonderful neighbours. Absolutely terrible landlords, but wonderful neighbours. But I am glad to have moved all the way back up to the north. The dogs love it up here, and I've been able to do a wonderful thing today for the better part of the morning, because we've got a nice sea breeze, because we live on an island. We have a nice sea breeze coming in. I just threw the back door open, and the dogs have come and gone as they've pleased, and there's been a lovely breeze coming in, and fresh air, and oh, it's wonderful. I wish to share this with the whole world. If I could, I'd just be like, yeah, teleport over here and come and have a nice afternoon. I'll make everybody tea. It's fine.
Don't worry about it. One day I'll show up in your door.
I would love you to come and show up in my door. And then, if we've got a nice hot day and we decide we've had enough of it, we'll drive up Mount Baker and go and find some snow. And, see it before all of the mechs turn up. P.S. If you have not seen, the Legionnaire on theblackpantslegion.com has updated with new wonderful articles from
You're right, we should
Lictor.
update it on the front page.
Yeah.
Right. That's true. I can do that. One
Yep,
moment.
you go do that. But Lictor has written an article that's in there, a lot to do with our 40k game and the clever ways he's gone about managing that. But also, Parallax of the Black Pants Legion has made a wonderful article on there about his building of the Siege of Mount Baker diorama. He spent a lot of time on it. I'm sure many of you saw it last night on Numeric. But if you haven't seen it, head on over to theblackpantslegion.com and check out the latest issue of the Legionnaire. There's some cool stuff in there.
I'm so waiting to show you guys Bavarian mode.
Oh my god, I can't. And remind me, there's one thing I need to ask you about the upcoming website update.
Yes.
Before I let you sensibly sleep this evening. It's a very simple question, but I'll ask you after stream. Lictor's working on the website, and I've been able to see a sneak peek, and it's going to be so cool. It's so good.
It is now leading to the correct. If you click on the Legionnaire on the homepage, you will go to the right place. Thank you, Ed. I very much appreciate it. Also, apparently, I'm not the only one who wrote about Rogue Trader.
Yes.
Yes. Greyfeathers also made an article, and Motormouth Jamie also made one.
But if you need to get your 40k fix in, this issue is the Legionnaire issue for you. When do we get Battletech bathtub streams with the ships? Ask Aloe. Aloe is our hot tub streamer.
Hello?
Yes.
What?
So we did a Valheim playthrough when Ashlands came out, and we were doing hot tub streams, as in we were sitting in the hot tub in Valheim. that was an interesting game to stream with the ending being the way that it was, because we didn't know how Ashlands exactly was working. Maybe it will happen again when Valheim hits 1.0 release, which is due at the end of this year. So I will be vanishing for a while when that happens, because goddamn do I love me some Valheim.
Ed, if enough people would be interested, I will also upload another article about how to actually do what I do. Hopefully as um, close to free and on your own computer as possible.
I
Like
would definitely be interested in that.
Lady Red yesterday asked me a question,
I did.
and then things happened. And two
They
hours
did.
later, she got a data slate about the Athonian tunnel rats and how they happened to become the premier Voidsman contingent on the Pride of Clappenheim. And why do they have a bunch of 60-year-old vaporwave void specialists whose main method of repelling borders is spacing them?
This is a perfectly reasonable thing to do.
Yes, their name is Voidclap because someone made a mistake a few months ago. and
Look,
stuck
you
it.
should never have made the comment you made. This was your fault.
I like that song. It's on you.
Yeah, we have Korean industrial rock as a battle anthem for the Pride of Clappenheim. It's called Void Clap, and I should be banned from occasionally bothering the music AIs. I do nothing reasonable with them, as Wrestling Star will attest.
All right.
So, things we want to do this week.
Yes.
We do have some problem solving to do, but the other thing I wanted to do with you guys this week, because I have not written... Oh, hang on, Ed says, I've played a tiny bit with a local chatbot, but I think LLMs are still super creepy to me. Yes, and one of the interesting things with chatbots is the reason why they sound creepy is because of the human element that's been plugged into them on the back end. At least in my opinion. Because the reason I think that chatbots often sound the way that they do is because the people running them want to make money, and so they program them to be very affirming to try and get you to continue using them, which is just creepy and not human, because humans are historically quite obstreperous with each other at appropriate times. And also at not appropriate times. But talking to something that just wants to keep telling you that you're the coolest and the best and affirm you the whole time, and also knows your search history, yes, Zork, it's going to come across as creepy.
Yes, kind of knows my search history. They know that if they treat me nicely, I'll punch them in the face. And that would be the least. Yes, men appear in Ad's mind. Yes.
Yep.
Up to and including the combat chip upgrade.
Right, so things I want to do this hour. I keep getting distracted. Chat, you're doing the chat thing. Very well done.
Yes.
So I want to have a look at our remaining snag solving. And then one of the things that we did when we went through our world building process is we made a document afterwards that was like the 10 steps to world building, which, Grimos, if you are doing world building and you don't have that document and it would be useful to you, let me know, because I can send it over to you again. But we made a little document about, this is how you do world building. This is what we did on our streams. This is how we built Shoal. Here you go for the future. I'm planning on doing that when we finish our first novel as well, and do, sort of 10 steps to writing a novel, going over everything that we've done through the course of these streams, writing our first book. Well, there's been this other huge project that's been going on this year, some of it in the background, some of it directly here on stream, and that has been working on an audiobook. And I don't think any of us realised that Doctor Who buying me a terrible book would get us, this far through a year, and with all the things that we've done with it. But if I'm making an audiobook, and if it works, maybe that could be a third thing that we have, is a 10 steps to making an audiobook. So I thought I might talk to you guys about how I've been broaching this problem and doing this thing that I have never done before, never intended to do before. And it's not like there's the world's simplest guide online that I can just look at. Hey, I've decided to make an audiobook. What do? That's not really a thing. So, I thought we might talk about that, and maybe or make a guide, and I also would like you guys to help me with some of the prep work that I'm doing. So I thought we might do that this week. I'm
That
not
sounds
sorry
good.
for sending Lady Red the book. This has been a hilarious chain of events. Yes, and it's only going to get more hilarious once various people start sending in the lines for it, and we get to start playing with the unique creative format that is an audiobook. Because, I mean, spoiler warning, there's going to be a bloopers section at the end, and I have some plans for that. And that wouldn't work in a written format. It's only going to work because it's an audio format. So, there's some fun things going on that we get to do with it because, well, I mean, we don't half-ass our shit posts around here. We whole-ass them.
Yes. OLS edition. OLS shitpost edition. That's us.
Fuzzy, congratulations on getting Matakana Fukukitaru to work for you. It's well done. Are you running Trackblazer or Grand Live? Zyme says, what about a fully voiced radio play style? Every character voiced uniquely. That is what we're doing. It is going to be an audiobook where we have a cast that is all confirmed. That will be doing all the different roles for us. So that's going to be interesting. We'll talk about that when we get to audiobook. I think we need to do some problem solving for Shoal first, and then we'll switch over and we can dig into that in depth, because I'd love to tell you about some of the things that I'm doing. You're doing Grand Live? Excellent. I've been very much enjoying the Grand Live scenario. It's just the right length for me. Trackblazer is just a bit too long. We've got mastering and voices handled as far as I know. Yeah, so where we're at with the audiobook so far, the actual book has been fully edited and its final edition now exists. That's been done. One of my editing team has very kindly gone through and pulled out all of the spoken lines and separated them into individual files per person using a file system and annotations that I asked them to use that should make it really easy for our voice actors. We have our voice actors confirmed. The next steps are finishing up the voice actor scripts so they can get sent out, adding everyone to the Discord to get all of their stuff, and then I need to buckle down and write the narrator's script and also the file, the master file that will have the list of exactly what order all the audio files have to go into to pull it all together. And then I've got a sound department who are going to be doing the mixing, mastering, and some Foley effects, so long as they have time. And yeah, we will get there for Christmas. And then I will have like the secret extra thing to do, so long as you guys meet the Goop Drive. So yeah. Doc sends book, Lady Red, a series of comical events. Yes. Many of which have expanded my skill set, which is genuinely wonderful.
Yes.
Speaking of the goop hole, Lady Red, did you see what the goop hole looks like from yesterday's numeric workshop? Yes, I did. I'm not going to tell you just how many people immediately DM'd me. It was like, oh my god damn it. So yes, I have seen what the goop hole looks like, and I have no comments. I plead the fifth. The world building notes are in the writing corner, right? I think they are, Grimos. If you can't find them, just DM me. As ever, my DMs are always open to the community, and I can just send you stuff.
Oh yeah, Zork is here. Yes.
Zork is here.
Now start that. We can now start allocating hells. Please choose your nearest convenient mythology, and Lictor will assign a hell just for you.
Your own personal one.
Yeah, I mean, if it's not personalized, what is it really? What are we, Dante's Inferno? Well, we can do better than that. We can make personalized hell. We are modern, consumer forward hell systems. We want to think about you personally and your needs specifically when you burn in your very own Gehenna.
Alrighty.
Hello. Yes.
Let's do
Sorry.
some work today. No, you're
Sorry.
fine. We can do so much better than Dante's fanfic. I mean, I love Dante's fanfic for being Dante's fanfic.
Yes.
It has so many of the hallmarks of the choice of writing in it. Mostly getting at the people that you don't like.
Yes. That Pope in hell, specifically.
Lord
That
Trower, the
that
fact that you keep microwaving tea is why El Condor Pasa was giving me trouble yesterday, just so you know. This has been determined at the start of this stream. How could you? Stop putting tea in microwaves. My horse runs go terribly when you do that.
please develop some respect for yourself. Or at least the tea. I mean, someone
Would
needs to have
someone think of the tea?
Yes.
Is Dante's Infernal biblical fanfic? Yes. Yes. It is spite motivated biblical fanfic.
Okay, Zyme. First of all, you cannot put microwaves out of tea. There's no way. There's no contraption currently in existence to prevent the microwave from the tea. It exists in our universe. Ergo, microwaves will find a way in, but you don't have to heat it in a microwave. I really shouldn't have to explain that level of physics in this stream.
Get a kettle, you goddamn heathens!
I mean, guilty as charged, but you'd have to pick a religion to be for my heathens. I mean, at least pick one.
All right, we're doing it again. I'm going to click on buttons. We're going to do a thing. All right, where is our snag solving section that we had up last time? That's the wrong side. God damn it. Put that back. Bring this up. There. Thank you. We're behaving now. We can now see what we're doing. All right. So I need to move chat slightly over so I can see two things at once. There we go. That works. Wonderful. All right, so last week we were talking about some snags that we'd run into, because at the point that we're at in our narrative, we have everything has gone wrong. The potential world-ending babies have escaped out into the world, and our heroes need to decide what to do about it. And we'd originally talked about having a moment where Jake is instrumental in helping to fix things, where Umi might get to have one last connection with a Titan. All of these sorts of ideas were going on in our head. Yes, the babies. Correct. All of these sorts of ideas were going on in our head, but we hadn't narrowed down quite specifically enough exactly how Titans work, exactly how Concordance works, exactly how Jake's psionics work, to be able to, you know, make this work in our story in a way that isn't going to leave stonking great plot holes that you can drive a whale through later on down the line. So that's what we were talking about last week. We talked about the 5 different things that we needed to think about for our Titans. You know, what is their power? How do they computate? How do they move? Sensors, weights and countermeasures. Why do they need a pilot? We did a whole load of notes on that, and we got to some good places. We talked about how pilots work and what their aptitude is, and why some people become pilots, why some people don't. And then we began to have an initial discussion about Jake's suit and how it works. We don't have to have hard science about this, and we don't have to go in our story into it in too much depth, but we do need to have some basic ideas about the general way that Jake's suit works. And I know a lot of people have some quite passionate opinions about this on various sides for various reasons. So we ended last week with giving you guys a chance to go and have a chat about it over in the Orcs channel, which I know people did do. So I'm going to bring that up on my other screen so that I can see it.
It's a very succinct, small discussion in very short, one-sentence pieces. It's really readable for the outside onlooker, and not at all a production of a bunch of nerds who are really passionate about things that happen in a very weird sci-fi environment. Not at all.
It's not like nerdy people argue about the science of various nerdy settings for fun, and have done so for many years.
Picard has his tea in, what was it, Earl Grey, not in packets, but in a whole jar or something, whatever. Does tea from a replicator tastes different from a normal grown tea? I mean, will the horrors never cease?
No, the
Really?
horrors will never, ever, ever cease.
Okay, fine. At least we'll have tea about it.
Yeah, hopefully not made in the microwave. Latroa
I
says,
mean,
in my defense, I'm at work, and if I use the other device to heat water, the tea ends up tasting like coffee. This is forgivable. If you have no other option, you may use the microwave.
yes.
And then give yourself 30 lashes when you go home, because how could you? No, this is fine.
And five
honestly, at
Hail
the end of the
Marys.
day.
I mean, or hail something. You can hail Ganesh if you want.
Yes, I'm just glad you guys are enjoying beverages and hydrating. That is the most important part.
Hail hydrate.
So we also have some pet redeems. I will pet the Sarah. She is the one that's currently on my hip at the minute. I'm sure there will be an argument about this later.
That's what it should be.
Have 5 Bloody Marys about it? I mean, fair enough, Ninja Turtle. That works for me. All right.
Yeah.
So.
No mo coffee is not an option.
I can see from looking at the orcs, because I'm refreshing my memory. I did read it as you guys were putting things in, but you know, it's been a busy week, so I'm just refreshing my memory. There's been a lot of talk about certain things and the consideration of human tech having its own vibe to it compared to Shoaly tech, because that's good on a narrative level. The Roughneck came up. There was talk about thrusters and all sorts of different things. Cold fusion was brought up. There was a whole lot of chat going on that was fantastic to see, and I was also really pleased to see people batting ideas off of each other without anybody getting particularly pedantic and annoyed with each other in unpleasant ways, which I've seen in other communal groups I've worked with, and just once again goes to prove that this is in fact the best community on Twitch, where people can have opposing ideas and express them at each other without it becoming an absolute catastrophe. And thank you. I appreciate all of you for that. What did the drinks machine on Heart of Gold make when Arthur Dent asked for tea? I've actually forgotten. It shut down for a while after Arthur told it that what it made just wasn't good enough. And had a conversation with it about tea, and it locked up the entire Heart of Gold at a critical moment, because tea is important, and it had to think about it.
This is why we have tea about things.
Yes. Lictor's had some stuff going on this week as well, and I think my advice every time we've chatted has been, have a cup of tea. That's been like the first thing.
Yes.
Have a cup of tea.
To which you did the thing I do when someone said that, and they went ahead a cup of coffee.
Which is also
Or four.
fine. Bean water is
Or
also
four.
fine.
Yeah, I mean, all I had to do was have 4 or 5 cups of coffee, and I was fine. Absolutely normal.
There have been some members of the Legion who have approached me and been like, so what are your opinions on coffee? I think expecting this to be a contentious subject, possibly because people also watch The Spiffing Brit, who's great. But, you know, coffee's fine. Coffee's fine. If you enjoy coffee, enjoy your coffee.
I mean, yes, it is very functional.
Doctor Who has the exact quote. The Nutramatic drinks machine on board the Heart of Gold made a cup of liquid that was almost, but not entirely, quite unlike tea. Yes, and then Arthur had a conversation with it. Never forget the original Spiffing Brit, Total Biscuit. Yes, yeah, I remember the days of Total Biscuit. Back when games journalism online was a less bleak world than it is now.
The world is what it is.
It is. It is. All right, so I do have a thing here that Ed has written up that I will read to... I shall read to the class, and we'll make some decisions following that. So Ed's put the effort in here and has done a lot of our stuff with human things, so I feel it's appropriate to read this, and then we can figure out what we want to do from there. So, Ed says... Since I'm the one who put us in this situation with the suit, I think we all contributed to that, Ed, I feel like I need to say something definitive on the subject. What follows is my full opinion on the topic of Jake's suit choice. Given the choice between an atmospheric diving suit, ADS, and the circulation suit, sea suit, I favour the circulation suit for the following reasons. Humanity. Jabra's soft shell comment hits a lot harder when Jake's body is directly in danger. There's a lot of damage we can do to Jake directly without actually killing him, including filling his lungs with seawater, a Chekhov's gun set up when we describe the suit. The fact the suit augments his own body rather than replacing it with a machine shell emphasises his humanity in the expedition, the extremes he's willing to take to exist on Shoal, and the idea of symbiosis with technology that is alluded to with the existence of familiars, which would be Kilo, his AI familiar that journeys with him. Low bulk. The sea suit would be less bulky than any conceivable ADS, perfect for someone trying to manoeuvre in cramped quarters. A sea suit is something Jake could don and doff unassisted as well, ideal for a mission where he's the only human. Maintenance could be done in the cramped shirt-sleeves environments at the hab, allowing Jake to be self-sufficient. Jake could even afford to have a backup sea suit in the hab in case the other suit fails. Low mass. Jake in a sea suit is much lighter, which in turn makes him faster and more manoeuvrable with less effort to boot. An ADS would need much more thrust to accelerate and stop, which means more water moving and more disruption of the local environment. With a sea suit... Flipper was a dolphin, you mean fins, Ed? Fins and arms would be all that's required, with Kilo acting as a potential underwater scooter. With regards to that, I have a PADI diving accreditation, and one of the things that my diving instructor always hated was anybody calling things flippers. Flipper was a dolphin! You're wearing fins! That's just come back. PTSD from learning to dive. Low noise. A soft suit is not going to make a lot of noise in an environment where noise travels far. Reduced thruster requirements and hydrodynamic drag also make the suit vastly quieter than any ADS, as will the lack of metal joints moving against each other. This is important for Jake's strictly non-combatant role, providing better protection than any armour. High dexterity. The joints of any ADS would need to be watertight and will be compressed by 60 atoms of pressure, or whatever that stands for, I'm sorry, reducing dexterity of the user. A sea suit would preserve natural underwater human movement, such as a hand reaching to stabilise the body, accidentally releasing the babies. Parity with scuba systems. Scuba is a well-documented system with 12.7 million active scuba divers worldwide today. And my dad is one of these divers and has already provided me with materials on the subject, not to mention the stuff I found out on my own. In universe, Jake is certainly a scuba diver himself, if not an elite technical diver. He would be an elite technical diver from what we discussed of his past, so yes. And will be diving for the foreseeable future, making him a good candidate for the sea suit. I was initially worried that giving Jake the sea suit would establish a precedent that would lock all of humanity into sea suits, which is why I was against the sea suit initially, but I now realise that Jake is, and always will be, an exceptional case. Yes, Jake is not your average human. He is a very driven man with his own very unique interests. Both the ADS and sea suit are valid options, and both will be canonised as existing technologically, but giving Jake the sea suit works best for the story we are telling right now. The sea suit makes Jake a small, extremely vulnerable expedition member that survives on his wits and the help of his shoaly friends, and helps him survive in return, which is exactly what we want. Okay, that was excellently written, Ed, and let's see what chat has to say.
Yes, chat. You're people. I've checked.
Mo says, you and Cookie will love when I actually get to throw a high tea. Mo, if you do a high tea, make sure that it's a cream tea. I will endure the lactose intolerance for a good cream tea. I have not had one in the longest time. Ed, you write wonderful things and think about the stuff that you're saying, as do most of the people here. So your input is benefit to stream, and I think you wrote very well. So me reading it on stream is a good thing. Trying to advertise swimming agility on the fish person world is a losing battle. I mean, compared to them, yes. Regardless of the suit, he's always going to be slower. Yes, he absolutely will, as he should be. Night Owl says, I made it in time for this nonsense. You poor fool, Night Owl. But welcome in. Atmospheres. Thank you, Ed. ATM's atmospheres. I was getting there, I swear. Does this mean we get to call Jake Meatbag? I mean, we could do that. And then we could have him just curse back at them at some point if he wants to with Meat Shell.
It would be very accurate. He is a meatbag.
All right. So, I mean, at the end of the day, what we're really debating is, do we want to talk about Jake having a suit that allows him to breathe air and the suit is compensating for this and it becomes a bulkier, more rounded suit? And again, Ed has said that both of these types are going to exist in setting regardless. So if you want the other type of suit for a different kind of story, you can do that. These things will both exist. It's just, what do we want Jake to have in this story? And our choices are really, does he have a bulkier suit that allows him to breathe air and be more in keeping with how, you know, we see humans today on our planet, and is more similar in that regard, and we just stick him into a larger suit? Or do we want him to have a suit that allows him to do effectively liquid breathing, because his circulation will be directly oxygenated, and there are things in place to allow for this to happen so that it's not just, you know, the worst traumatic experience for him? And which do we want to go with? One will make him bulkier but potentially more armored. The other one will make him softer, able to go through more narrow gaps, etc., and sort of swim. One of them makes him breathe more the way we're used to. One of them makes him swim more the way that we're used to. So we do have options on either side, and really, I think this just needs to be something that we settle by a vote. I know we've been imagining a more bulky ADS style suit because of what we talked about at the beginning, but we do have the ability to do either at this point, and I think a lot of really good chat has been had about both options. And again, when I put the poll up in a minute to let you guys vote, what I'd like you to think about when you make the choices that you're going to make is, what do you think works best for the story we're currently telling? Because whichever we decide, it's not like that becomes the only piece of equipment for all future stories. Both kinds of technology will continue to exist. So what we're purely looking at is what works best for this story. Eric has brought up a good point about the smaller suit. It would be more like Riley's suit in Subnautica. Probably not exactly the same, but yes, it was sort of thinking about it in that kind of terminology. All right, so I think we'll do it by poll. I might even vote myself. My God. All right.
I'm going to abstain and only break tie.
Fair enough. What sort of
That's my
suit
role so far.
should Jake have? Okay.
You have the ADS and the C
I'm
suit.
going to call it hard suit ADS for air breathing. Or soft suit C suit for swim. So he'll be better at swimming. Well, actually, what I should put here is for liquid, because it's going to be liquid breathing.
If we want to get to all the technical details work, we can. I had a more technical breakdown about how and why it works the way it works, but don't worry about it right now. We're not going to get into how every is working in story, and so we don't have to get to it here.
I'm going to make it a 3-minute poll, no additional votes, because you get to choose one, and being rich doesn't allow you to force your idea on this one. I think this needs to be something where everybody has a say, and whatever the majority comes out as, that's what we do. I think that's the fairest way with this particular problem. There's a little thorn that we've come back to multiple times, so we'll do it this way. The poll is now up. Let me know what kind of suit you want Jake to have, and again, whatever you choose, this does not mean that that's the only thing we have going forward. Both technologies will continue to exist. We're purely looking at what works best for Jake for this specific story. And I very much encourage people to write your own stories and explore the things that are interesting to you with the setting, or with, if you make a branch setting, this inspires you to make your own thing. That's cool too.
Yeah. People having ideas.
I know.
What is the world coming to?
So what we're voting on is whether Jake is going to have a suit that allows him to breathe air, which would be a hard suit, an ADS, it will be a bulkier suit, or whether his suit that allows him to survive on Shoal directly oxygenates his blood or has some kind of liquid oxygenation system and will require a smaller, more flexible suit. So those are your two choices. The top one is the harder, bulkier suit. The bottom one is the softer, more mobile suit, but with the stranger breathing considerations. I see more goob is coming in. Thank you, Night Owl. Thank you, Brenwolf.
You guys are insane. We appreciate that.
Yes. I mean, the reason why we're looking for over 9 million in Goob is because last time I did one of these, you guys raised 8 million in 3 weeks, which was just ridiculous.
I mean, ridiculous is kind of the point, isn't it?
Yes, that is kind of what we do around here. We do a lot of ridiculosity.
See? I mean...
Camperis has contributed 16,000 total to the Goob Drive. Thank you. I do hope you guys are going to like what comes out, because it is very much a glorious idea, as long as I can draw it properly, that Ibex had to really honour everybody who took part in the talent Bachal. And I hope it will be one of the things that sort of encourages people to take part as and when we do another one in the future, because it was really cool seeing all the awesome things you guys make. Like Al says, I still have the memes from when we scared Diggs with the first Goob Drive. I like the hard suit because it helps define Jake as a human. Despite everything, he remains what he is, rather than simply being washed away by Shoaly culture. It's a cultural exchange, not a whitewash. I mean, I think we can still play up Jake's, incredibly strong human elements through the story. A lot of which I think will really hammer down on making sure come across correctly when we go through the editing process. I do think we can do it for both sides. But yeah, no, I completely appreciate where your point of view is coming from. And yeah, I encourage people to write their own stories as well, and we'll go from there. All right, the poll has ended. The soft suit has won the day, quite strongly at that. So for this occasion, for this specific story, the specific character, Jake is going to get a soft suit, and we will work forward on that. But we could absolutely write in hard suits for other stories. If people want to write their own stuff, very welcome to do so, and I would love to read them. If you want to read stuff on stream, I will happily read stuff on stream. So we can make both work, but for this specific story, we're going to move over to the sea suit for Jake, and that will allow me to continue on with the book. So that will be good.
Goodness.
Ed says, I feel good. The last poll we did on this topic was the same. I'm at peace. Yeah, and we've explored the idea a lot more now. And I think it's a really nice thing that as a community, it's been discussed fully on both sides in such a way that we can allow both to exist. And you just choose what you want for the story that you're telling. Softsuit does not exclude the existence of equipment, harnesses, or frames that he is strapped into or strapped onto him. I mean, yeah, it's not just... He's not going to be quite as free-swimming as Riley is, I shouldn't imagine, with what he's doing. So, yeah.
I'm going to illustrate that the sea suit main objective is also to, at least in my opinion, it gives Shoal a different vibe to how technology works, that's slightly more transhumanistic and sets it a little bit apart from other sci-fi universes. It's not Battletech, it's not Star Wars, it's not Star Trek, it's not even The Expanse. It's a little bit out on its own, in that the sea suit and relies heavily on cybernetics to achieve what it needs to do, but it does that in a more seamless manner, which is something I like. I like the idea that Shoal has its own view It's not retro futurism. It's not trying to do cassette hypertech. It's really a more advanced view on how technology works.
I think one of the important things we'll have to make sure that we do is really play up that this is part of humanity's strong suit. Humanity's gone to the stars. They've found many planets. They've found this planet and they've adapted to it as well. I mean, yes, it's included the technology, etc., but humans will go anywhere and put themselves through anything for new discoveries and problem solving and interesting things. Shoali don't have that flexibility. The concept of going to another planet and just hanging out there on their oceans is not nearly so easy for them because, I mean, if they sent somebody to Earth to do the same job, there's no song. And that's an issue for the Shoali. It would fuck with so many more systems than humans doing the things that humans do because we just kind of hurl ourselves at things until we figure out a way to make it work. Humanity, fuck yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And Doctor Who, yes, exactly. Yes, yes, yes. And the seventh time, yes. No, it's not easy. No, it requires conditioning. No, it requires training. No, you can't just do it out of the box. It's not a replicator that you just press a button and technology does everything for you. Everything has a cost.
Yes.
You can do amazing things, but you have to actually apply yourself to it. It doesn't just happen because, ooh, yes, button. No drugs to make you superhuman on a whim.
Yeah.
No magic potions, no magic swords.
And I think that stands for
Hard
both
work.
types of suits, for whatever you use them for in stories, is there's pros and cons to both types of suits, but cons will always be there. And that's the thing with humanity, and what makes our species pretty great is that we look at cons and go, okay, what are we willing to accept? What can we work around? How long can we do this for? Okay, cool, let's go do the cool thing. Let's yeet ourselves into space. Yes, yeet ourselves to the bottom of the ocean. You want to climb that mountain where you can't breathe properly at the top anymore? Sure, we'll do that. So yeah, I think we can absolutely
Yeah.
make both work. We'll go with the one for this story, and maybe if we do a future novel later on down the line, we explore writing a story with the other kind of suit. And obviously,
Oh,
if
yeah.
community members want to write a story in the meantime, go for it. I will happily read it on stream, no problem.
I want community people to write stuff.
Yes, and once we get to the point where certain things can be done, which goddamn my life, having a compendium of community stories will be really cool. To have the ability to go, here is our main compendium of the world. Here is a community written novel. Here is a collection of community written short stories. It will just be cool. We'll make our own little show
You're
library.
suggesting we're making you're suggesting that we're making a library
Yes.
of a show,
Yes.
complete with Temp Squirrel slippers.
Legion Library. Legion Library.
Does that mean I'm going to have to be the person who builds the Temp Squirrel? I'm going to have lightning
I believe in you. You will figure it
stars
out.
all over my face.
Simon says, any story. There are some thirsty people shipping characters. So, this is a conversation I have had with various people in real life with varying amounts of alcohol involved. But one of my personal, this is just purely a Lady Red thing, but one of my personal things is I think one of the markers, a hallmark of a truly loved series is people writing fan fiction, especially fan fiction that puts characters together that the author never would have. Because at that point, a series has clearly resonated with people enough that they want to be able to do, that sort of thing or explore those kind of ideas. And at that point, you did something that meant something. People have picked it up in the world. So one of the biggest compliments I think that could ever happen with any of my work, especially if I manage to get my Hefner series off the ground in the next year or two, is if somebody wrote fanfic shipping two of my characters I never intended to be together. That would be amazing. I would be like, yeah, I'm like opposite of Anne Rice with regards to this idea. I'm like, yes, fantastic. I am really glad I wrote something that was worthwhile enough that you had these thoughts and wrote them down. Carry on. No, I am never writing those two characters together, but I'm happy that you did. Jake and Jabra fanfic. I mean, go write it. Nobody's stopping you, Doctor Who. You are allowed to put any words together in any order that you want. They cannot stop you. At least not until you start asking for money.
I'm just pointing out, as someone who's currently dealing with a relationship that deals with people with very distinct differences of age and power.
Yeah, I've made your life difficult, haven't I?
Difficult, you say? Yes. No. I got to see a Aether dance fighting. I mean, all sins are absolved now. But that being said, just Jabra and Jake requires a very specialized and tender consideration because of characters' age and power differences. Jake is a squishy meatbag. Jabra is a tank.
I'm also trying to figure out how the hell they kiss with those mouth parts.
Don't. Okay, we are dealing in the future. The two genders are anime twink and a tank. We're fine. On that part, we're okay. It's the cyberpunk show.
Actually, hang on. I need to message Parallax. I need him to make something for April Fool's Day next year for me to send to Doc. Where's Parallax?
I feel
I'm not even drunk and I need to do this. Hang on. Talk to chat. I'm going to message Parallax.
Yes,
I'll be right back.
Yes. So just, treat the characters with the needed respect and give them an ability to have a relationship. Because if one character, I mean, there's a reason why Twilight didn't work. And one of the reasons Twilight didn't work is because the vampire is 300 freaking years old and she's, I don't know, 16. What is she? She has the mental maturity of a shellfish.
In defense of that, Edward also has the emotional maturity of a shellfish, but it's just annoying because he shouldn't. And the issues become complicated.
I am now insulted on Jabra's side of the shellfish equation. I mean, I don't know, introspective. If you want to find out about the internal organs of the crabs, you are invited to theorize. If you have any diagrams you wish to put out, we might actually put them to some sort of use. It would be terrifying use, but terrifying doesn't preclude actual usage.
Okay, I've messaged Parallax.
Hey, dear God, age does not ensure maturity. No, maturity is a social construct. Age is a temporal persistence of life functions. Immortal romances. Yeah, again, I think we should at some point explain the way the relationship that Aether and Sidewinder is operating on a level that, by God, that requires some delicate handling.
Yeah, I mean, we could absolutely talk about it for a bit because it's been really interesting. So this year has been an interesting year. I planned to have a quieter year this year, and that just hasn't happened for multiple reasons. Getting to work directly with techs on important stuff. New video apparently in 10 days. We'll see if that happens. I hope it does. Has, been awesome. And of course, I had Doc sent me the book, and I read Hungry Like the Wolf, and then we decided to rewrite it, and we ended up talking about romance as a genre, and it's just been a really interesting year for things being really busy and doing the same thing that kind of got me into the position I'm in the first place, because I only ended up here because when I started going to art school, for completely unrelated reasons, Aiden asked me if I could draw a hunchback to promote the Hunchback video coming out. And I'd never drawn mechs. I'd never intended to draw mechs. It was completely out of my depth, but I said, I'll try. And ever since that happened, the words "I'll try" have continued showing up in my life. And romance isn't really my genre, but we tried and we did it together, which was awesome. And I've learnt so much by doing things that weren't in my wheelhouse, that have also improved things that are in my wheelhouse. But I've learned to draw mechs. I've learned to appreciate certain things that weren't on my radar before. I've learned to write romance and properly pull it apart, and not only point at things and go, I don't like that, that seems terrible, but be able to go, I don't like that, that seems terrible, this is why, and this is how we fix it. And yeah, we've come up with some really cool stuff. And this was something I've kind of been poking about with my book club with over time as well, which Archon Erica can tell you about that. I do run a book club on Saturday nights in my server where I read terrible fiction to my closest friends. And we did Twilight. The very first book we did on book club was Why I Sued Taylor Swift and Became Falsely Known as Frivolous, Litigious and Crazy by Russell Greer, which is a hell of a book title. And after I'd become aware of this, I had to inflict it on other people. So my book club started. And in revenge for reading that to people, they demanded that I read the first book of the Twilight series, which we did. Question, how much weight does the truck nuts add to the center torso? Ask Mini Hulk. Mini Hulk has that answer. That's your person. So we did Twilight, and I had to stop like every 6 sentences to rant, and that was a time. And we did end up trying to fix that book as we went through it, because it was the only way to stay sane. And I think that's where I sort of started learning how to deal with romance. But Hungry Like the Wolf is where we kind of really narrowed that down. And the understanding of what was wrong with Alaric and Dovendra as characters, especially in terms of a romance. Because Twilight doesn't teach as well as Hungry Like the Wolf, because you've got the stupid love triangle nonsense going on. And you also have certain preconceptions that come from the author's upbringing that are feeding into things that don't necessarily represent the majority of humanity. So, you've got lessons to be learned there, but they're very sort of specific and uniquely tailored. Hungry Like the Wolf is more sloppy than Twilight, and that kind of made it more useful. The person who wrote Twilight wrote it because she wanted to write it. She had passionate feelings about something. And for all I feel that she is not a particularly skillful writer. And she's certainly not a particularly skillful character writer. She did care about what she was writing. And to her benefit, one of the things that she's always said is that she's fine with people criticizing her work. She's just happy that it ever resonated with anyone at all. And that is a very laudable position to take. So I've always had a degree of respect for her for that. Hungry Like the Wolf was not written because the author wanted to write it. I sincerely doubt if Christina F. York was given 3 lifetimes to just sit and do whatever she wanted, it would ever have crossed her mind to write Hungry Like the Wolf. This feels like a book that the idea came from somebody else, which we know, Big Red 40 and his community, which, wonderful, awesome idea. It had a snippet written by Stackpole, which is in itself just a wonderful, unique thing. But then it was, okay, well, we need to make this whole thing. It's going to be an officially endorsed product. We need an author who can do this sort of stuff. Who writes this sort of romance fan fiction for sci-fi? Oh, okay, this lady and her husband do Star Wars. Sorry, not Star Wars, they're Star Trek. They do Star Trek. She's great for the job. Let's send her a job offer. So she got a job offer that isn't in her personal wheelhouse. I very much feel like she didn't know the Battletech setting and was merely given some notes to work with. And then she churned out a book that has the Battletech skin stretched over a very generic romance plot, Bones. And in many ways that makes it easier to pick apart, because it's very, very easy to see under the skin and see where the bones are and how those have been constructed incorrectly. So it teaches clearer lessons. And yeah, I think we learnt a hell of a lot from doing that. And that has played into the understanding of romance and relationship that is going on in the 40k game Lictor runs on Saturdays between my character and the NPC he's running. And we had to take into consideration things that we have learned from all of the nonsense that we've done here. Particularly what Lictor was saying, the age gap between the two, the experience gap between the two, the maturity gap between the two, which is not necessarily always as one-sided as it seems, because the elf man is a gremlin.
You can't prove it.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Until you put popcorn. Until you put popcorn in front of him, you can't prove it. You have to put popcorn. Without the popcorn, your theory is invalid.
Yeah, popcorn does make him immediately reveal how much of a gremlin he is.
Yes.
But yeah, we sat down, and I'm sure this will come out as we hopefully do the comic project next year. Aren't we all gremlins? Yes, we are all gremlins.
No. I'm a hobgoblin.
That's fair, carry on. But, we sat down, and I did what I normally do when I'm making a character, is I rolled a series of stats. We did quite a lot of rando rolling for this game. Squick and I were rolling our characters up at the same time, and both had ideas of what we wanted to do, and then rolled the opposing stats to that. So that was fun. But, that helped settle the characters.
And then the game happened.
Yeah, but one of the things I do at character creation for most of my characters that I play is I try to give them a hobby. Quite often I'll try to angle that hobby to be quite different from whatever their stat line is built towards. Because that's kind of, in my opinion, how real life goes. If you work very hard doing a certain thing all day, every day, your hobby should be something to help you get away from that and relax from that. So it can quite often be quite different. Not always. That hasn't always happened in life for all people, but that's the way I approach characters. So Sidewinder is a sneaky kind of character. She squirms around everywhere. Her age was rolled as being very young. And so I decided, if she needs a hobby, something she can do where she sits down but is still within her realm of interest. She does a lot of scurrying about and doing stuff, so when she's relaxing, it needs to be something she sits down to do. And, of course, Hauserkar had gotten me into wrestling through his passion and knowledge and running WBPLW. So I was like, she likes wrestling. She likes watching, Eldar blood sports.
What? In 40k?
Yes.
Sports? No.
Yes. And things grew from there. So Lictor was like, you know what? I'm going to put a Eldar fighter on one of the places that these guys go to. And, of course, it makes sense that my character is just somewhat obsessed in unique ways, and not necessarily entirely honest with herself about how she feels about certain things. But we've got this character there, and there is the potential for, of course, romance. Romance at the table in TTRPGs is a nuanced topic in the first place, because not everybody wants to be there for that. And there are myriad stories online of people who have come to TTRPGs to be very untoward about the topic of romance, and that's not okay.
Nope.
At no point did we set out to have any of that nonsense happen. But I've never gotten to explore the idea of a character having a romance at a table, so, it's something that we're playing with. And the initial thought is, this will be easy. He represents something that she's interested in, he can help to train her to be a better character. This explains where she gets some of her developments from, because she's not really attached to any of the particular groups that she could just learn from. She's not a military person, and she's not trying to learn military doctrine. She's not part of the ecclesiarchy. She's not part of the administratum. This will be fantastic. This is easy. And then we actually started thinking about it. And no, it doesn't work that easy, because there's the age gap and the power imbalance and the experience difference between them. And if you just write that without any care or concern to those things, that's how you get terrible romance novels that don't make sense and feel really skeevy. That's how you get Edward Cullen talking to the receptionist at the school and being able to read her mind that she thinks he's hot, and then he doesn't have the appropriate reaction to that. which is one, he's, hundreds of years old, and two, she's in her 30s and sexualizing a teenager in her brain. And God, no. We can't do that. So yeah, the relationship between Sidewinder and Aether has gotten complicated.
Yes, it required, yes, thinking.
Yes.
So no, we're not on a different rail system. We're just using a different set of levers from the one you usually use. We're not essentially pumping the go faster.
If you would
all the
like,
way
though, we
down.
can throw the rejoin main rails lever over real quick, and that's why you have to be really considerate of how Jake and Jabra have a relationship, and this is still Doctor Who's fault. There you go.
That is true.
Back on the
We
main
can
rail.
do that because Jack and Jabra are, well, Jabra is over 100. He's nearly 100 years old. I don't quite remember.
And
She's
has
a
had
little bit
many
younger.
clutches of babies, many of whom mutinied against her.
Yeah, and she's a little bit younger than Umi, and I remember that annoys her
Yes.
for good reason. The unbearably smug Latical. I would be annoyed too.
Several of whom also just died in the novel. Yes. Yes, and Jake has no children and just feels guilty about other things that have happened in his life, and his scale of contrast is very different.
Yes. How do I deal with? Oh my god, that's a crap. They have the amount of limbs involved is strictly Southern Asian in nature.
Also, he has lips and she doesn't, so the kissing's going to be a time.
Look, we already said humanity is all about prosthetics and all sorts of augmentations. All I'm saying is, look, some problems can be solved. AR is a thing, simulated sensations are a thing. This particular venue of problem solving is one that humanity has been broaching since prehistory and before. I am not reading this.
Chat is making valid comments that are absolutely not getting read out loud. Yes.
Yes. I'm trying to be as respectful and untowards as positively towards as I can get. My azimuth cannot be more direct. I am unswayed. I will show the Zen.
Now, there's one we
perfection.
can read out. Modern problems require modern solutions. Yes.
True. And these okay.
Doctor Who, you derailed this originally. This is all your fault. But he is trying to get us back onto sensible tracks. All right, so we have decided that we are going to have the soft suit. I think our final thing then that we need to discuss before we move on to audiobook nonsense is how do we want to broach piloting Echo? I think we decided last time that we were going to have Umi go into directly pilot Echo using Jake's basically as a psionic boost to help him do so, and that Jake will take some damage from doing this.
My comment on that was that the good thing, however terrible it might be, is that Jake can essentially survive more neurological damage in the sea suit than he could otherwise, because the sea suit overrides enough of his biological functions. All it leaves out is the mental strain, and this is the one thing Jake can actually showcase. The suit and Kilo takes over and essentially says, you do the psionic thing that I have no idea how to deal with, because Kilo is an AI and doesn't have any interface with the psionic capabilities that he's exemplifying. However, not showing not showing his abilities is all fine and well. He can. Kilo is handling the meat sack, and Jake essentially shows that he can deal with the rest of the problems.
Mm-hmm. All right, I think I have some ideas how I will write it, and this will get done for next week definitively, and then we can see how we feel about it and if anything needs changing. But I think I have an idea how I will write it. And we'll go from there. We will go from there. That'll be good. That will be good.
Yes.
Emoji only mode probably wouldn't make things better, no, because then the problem is chat is ridiculous. And yes, he's hitting with a rolled up newspaper, as do the streamers. We're certainly not innocent in this. But constraints breed creativity. That is something we have learned through this stream over the course of all the time it's been running. When you let people do just anything they want, you can get paralysis from all of the options that you have. Whereas if you start constraining people, they start getting really creative with trying to break the limits, work within the constraints and do something creative. If we moved to only emoji mode, I am terrified of what would happen. Splayed hand eggplant would be the least of our worries.
I'm going to say that well, Zork exists, and I need no further explanation.
Among others. Yes. All right, so I think we're settled on what we need to do show-wise at the minute. I'm glad that we've sort of talked it through. And I'm genuinely extremely appreciative of everybody who had the conversation over in the Orcs and sort of talked everything out. And again, I love this community. You guys have been amazingly considerate of each other and problem solving in ways that other communities I've worked with in the past are not always. And I appreciate that. I genuinely appreciate it, because writing should be a fun pastime that's enjoyable for everybody. It shouldn't have to be an argument. And yeah, thank you. So we've solved that for today. What I would like to do is to talk about the audiobook for the sort of hour or so that we have left, and get you guys to help me with some stuff. Because I think you guys should be involved. So we can do that. Because, I want to make a how-to guide for how to make an audiobook and just talk about that process. Because I'm kind of excited about it. And I like to pass excitement on where I can. And hopefully I just won't bore people to death. So if that's okay with you guys, that is what we will move over to. And this should work. Now, what should happen is I should close Shoal. And OBS should automatically move this over to my Hungry Like the Wolf file. Will this happen? I don't know, because I don't trust OBS. I don't trust any streaming software to do anything sane the moment I press a button. So cross all of your fingers and toes, chat, and let's see what happens. If it doesn't work, you might get a brief view of what Mrs. Checkers has been getting up to in the time since...
Hold on. I need to get all the toes. I need to go to the basement.
Oh, okay, go get your jars of toes. I'm not asking questions.
I need to cross all of them. It's going to take a little bit. I'm sorry.
I'm just going to click the button. All right, I'm closing Shoal. Pray for us, children. Let's see what happens.
Okay. Fine.
Are you going to close? Are we thinking about it? Do we not know what we're doing? Ah, there we go. It just took a minute to save because it's complicated and difficult.
No. We died.
We died. Oh, no. How terrible. All right, we have moved over to the correct thing. Thank goodness. You saw it for a few frames. So that is a client piece I have finished this week for Canopian Cat Girl. It was very fun to draw. I can probably show you guys if you would like to see it. Would you like to see what Mrs. Checkers has been getting up to? Mrs. Checkers. Yes, this is excellent cover art for Hungry Like the Wolf. It's very, very good. And it is the Stealth Atlas in the background, yes. Lictor did amazing with this.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't see an atlas? Oh, no, you're right. Clearly there's no atlas here.
Who would put an atlas in a tea party in the backyard in the backyard party. Who would, in his right mind, would put an atlas there? It's not some shrubbery, okay? Stop saying that. No, the Ilkhan will not like that.
It's a weird looking deer. Yes. Amazing dog ahead.
Precisely.
Where's the ficus? The ficus is sensibly at home, not indulging any of this nonsense. Sebastian is a very intelligent plant.
No ficus. No ficus. No ficus.
Oh dear, we have had some fun with this project.
No ficus. No.
That's not a dog. It doesn't have a Pope hat. Fair enough. Though the Popeless does exist. Battletech Gothic is a thing. Sebastian is a war criminal? I mean, for all we know, yes. Sebastian could very well be a war criminal.
I wouldn't put it past him. It's a ficus, but the best thing about the Windrose game is the fact that you go and chop down as many ficus trees as you want. That was the one
that makes you so happy.
You have no idea how many hours I just sat there and just like, it feels so good. It's therapeutic.
Wilf, that is exactly what you should be envisioning, because yes, that's how it's written in the book, as it is holding a sapling in front of its face, hiding like a man hiding behind broccoli. Pistol says, hello, my Digs Day stay. Happy Digs Day, Pistol. I hope you have a wonderful day and eat delicious things. Sebastian is the best character in the book. Such great character development. Is that because he refused to follow any political ambitions Davendra was trying to push on him? Is that why?
I have opinions.
I know.
I will not elaborate.
You have very strong opinions about ficus.
Yes. Victor hates ficuses, refuses to elaborate, leaves.
Basara says, wasn't there a bloom count 30 years ago where the subject of pets came up? One of the characters said they had a basset hound. The other person asked, is that like a ficus plant? To which the response was, same thing. I mean, slightly louder than ficuses, but only a tiny bit. His lines reminded me of Nick Cage's in Willy's Wonderland. Yes. Bloom County. Yes. I'm sorry. I read what was directly written there, but I knew what you meant.
Okay.
All right. Let me actually bring up thing in front of me. Okay. So we probably only need the one window open at the minute. We don't need this split. So I'm debating which way around to do this, whether I talk about how I've decided to try and make an audiobook when I've never made one before, or whether we just go straight into the stuff I want you guys to help with.
We've got time.
All right, then we'll start with how I decided to do this, and we will have our main couple just on the screen. That works. That's fine. So, I have never made an audiobook before. I've never even considered making an audiobook before. I don't exactly have the world's most amazing microphone in my house because, you know, I don't worry about audio stuff that much. I mostly, you know, draw things and write things, and neither of those require much in the way of Audible. So making an audiobook, not something I really knew how to do, and I'm hoping that not knowing what the hell I'm doing will end up being to my benefit, because it means that I'm tailoring the way I'm doing this to the community I'm intending to work with. Doctor Who says, that's a stupid cute pose. I hate that I like it. Lictor chose a really, really good pose for this. It is stupid cute.
The colors on the back are of the correct version, I think.
I believe you got it correct, yes.
Nobody was willing to tell me if I'm wrong. Like, we don't know the colors of the Ilkhan's dire wolf. We just don't know. Nobody cared enough to take notice.
This man has abs going to his pecs. How dare he? Indeed. Welcome in, Concept 10. It is good to see you. Oh my goodness, Sarah. Why are we sneezing? Why are we sneezing? You okay? You good? Okay. She's good.
Zork, your brain started as non-Euclidean. I don't believe you ever had a brain that works only in right angles.
But do sleep well. Oh my goodness, she's sneezing again. You okay? You sneezy girl? So the area that we're in, we have had some of the smoke from the Spokane wildfires blowing our way periodically. So poor Sarah, I think that's what's making her sneeze. You poor girl. You're okay. You're okay. Yeah, thankfully we're far enough away that the wildfires themselves aren't an issue, but, you know, smoke carries. Smoke carries. I'm giving her many pets. All right, so audiobook. So I'm figuring out how to do this to work with the community that I've got and with the way that my brain works instead of trying to follow somebody else's series of instructions. So this will either go catastrophically wrong or could end up being surprisingly streamlined and good, and I'm hoping it's going to be the second one of those. So, first thing that I did was I set up a Discord server because it is the year of our Lord 2026 and it is a wonderful way to keep people organised. So at the moment, I have a Discord server that is specifically for Hungry Like the Wolf audiobook. And I've set it up so that there's all these individual sections and I can put my people into teams because I've pulled multiple other people into this project because I'm trying to learn to delegate and know my limits, specifically time-wise. And there's no way I was going to get everything done by myself. So I have a little team of editors. I have a little team of sound people. I have my voice actor role that at the minute has nobody in it because I haven't added the voice actors in yet. And then I have myself and Lictor, and of course we are listed as the Ilkhan and Sarkhan for this project. And people are just going to have to deal with that. So that was my first step. Let's have a Discord for it. I then thought that the most sane way to do this would be to make sure the book is fully edited and finished. Then pull out all of the spoken lines for each individual character into their own individual files and have an editor do that for me, which they have, and to establish a unified way of doing these scripts so that the file names will all make sense. So what I will do, so you guys can see what that's looking like, is... all right, we will do Alaric Ward first. Let me go into my Google Drive where my editor has kindly dropped. Yes, open with Google Docs, please. So the editor-in-chief for this section has been Paladin Rose, who you will occasionally see in chat. She is my sister-in-law, and she has been fantastic. So let me copy this over into Scrivener so you guys can see it. Alright, so this is going to be Alaric Ward. And what I thought would make sense is that each character gets their own file. It will have a description of what the character is like for the sake of the voice actor, so they don't have to read the entire book to understand who this person is. And then it will have their lines individually pulled out, and that the first bit should tell what chapter and what page of the PDF this line comes from, so if the voice actor wants context, they can look in the PDF and immediately find it. However, there should also be, after the line, a direction note for how the character should sound, and then the final part, this bit here in the inverted brackets, tells the voice actor what to save that file as. Because if each line is recorded as individual files and has a unified save type for, you know, how it's going to be named and what the file format is, it means I can go ahead and set up in DaVinci or other software an entire timeline and then just drop the individual bits in to make my first copy of the audiobook. And I can then make myself a master file that tells me exactly what the order of files should be. So, for example, if Ward speaks and then Darvendra speaks and then the narrator speaks, it will be Ward1.wav, Darvendra1.wav, narrator1.wav, and then I can just grab those files in the correct order and drop them all in and make a thing. So all of our scripts work this same way. I'm not used to people relabeling radio dramas as audiobooks. So, and the reason I'm calling it an audiobook is because it's going to be a read through of the story. Initially, I was intending it to be just, sitting down and reading the book cover to cover myself. And then we decided, yeah, but we've got all of these Legion folks. What if we get them involved? So technically it has become a radio drama, but the idea started out as an audiobook, so I keep referring to it as that. Yeah, I said DaVinci because it was what was immediately on the tip of my tongue and is software I know how to use. But yes, something like Audacity would be better. And, this is why I have certain people involved who can help me do this. And Night Owl, if you used to edit stuff and would like to be part of this, I will happily throw you into nonsense if you want to. If you don't, run away now. That's fine too.
Yes.
So this is my plan.
Your ability to flee is decreasing by the moment. Yep,
So
just, letting you know that it is what it is. You'll have to survive.
Yeah, so this is how we're trying to
questionable.
organise things. There's individual scripts, like a master script of how to do things. I absolutely read Blunt as high AF, and it was much funnier briefly. I mean, there are certainly sections through this book where if Alaric was just stoned off his pecs, that would probably be for the best.
Stoned off of his pecs. These words. These are words that have been spoken by a person.
Yes.
For reasons.
Eric is bringing up important things here that is part of what is and remains to be done before these scripts go out and are finalised. Eric says, standardisation is key to success. If I may make a suggestion, something that notes any words that should be stressed. For example, there is a difference in I am exercising restraint and I am exercising restraint and I am exercising restraint. And yes, that needs to be gone through and done. And that's something I'm planning on handling myself. Paladin Rose has pulled all of the individual lines out for each character and made sure to put the formatting around them for, where can you find this line? A generalized note of tone that it should be delivered in, some of which are not yet done. And Aiden and I will be going through to finalize all of that on them. And then, what the file should be named as. I'm going to go through and then put in all of that stressing on which word should be stressed, probably using bolding. That remains to be done. And also, a description of each character needs to go in for our voice actors. So for people who have not read the book, they can understand, who is this character? What do I need to know about them to do their lines? And I thought I might ask you guys to help me do that. We can go through each of the characters, so I've entered them all onto my master file, and that puts them in place for me to work on. You guys can help me write what we think of each of these characters and what we think our voice actors need to know. And yeah, that helps to move this project that little bit further along, if you folk are willing to do so. Is that something you would like to do with me, chat? And I would appreciate it if the answer is yes. All right, while you guys sort of decide whether this is something you want to do or whether you just want to go, no, we've had enough of this, please go away. Describe the characters. So what do you think we should put in as our description of Alaric Ward for our voice actor who's going to do that? What important notes do they need to know about this character and for them to be able to do their job? Well, give me just a minute. While you guys all get settled, those of you who want to be able to type at me during this. I'm going to pop Sarah's out because she's asking to use the restroom. So I'm going to go let them out in the backyard, use the restroom myself, and then we will get into this and see what we can come up with for describing our characters to voice actors who have no idea what's coming their way. I'll be right back. Lictor, please don't let them blow things up. No singulars.
Okay, fine. Zork isn't here, so he's not going to pull up the singular. Doctor Who. How's engineering? Do we have Atmos? And Kai, I know. You can praise Zorg. All. And oh, okay. I see where it's going. Yes, we are doing the. You were explicitly told. I was explicitly told. I'm just going to tell Lady Red that all of you went ahead and put your tea in the microwave, and that's going to be that's going to be where it is. You are all now using tea via microwave. I'm very serious, headstrong, confident in his purpose, unbothered, moisturized. Are we going with moisturized, boys?
I don't think Alaric knows how to be moisturized. That's something that Chance would take care of
I
for him.
think he absolutely knows how to moisturize. It goes like this. Sakan, my treatment, please.
Also, I'm back.
Very good, Zai. Put microwave in your tea, then activate it.
All right.
Don't try to drink it while the microwave is activated in your tea, though. That might be counterproductive.
Okay, let me do this. Then I can copy everything you guys are saying over here, and then we can try and make one unified thing out of it all. All right.
What's a
Okay,
PNW?
Pacific Northwest, which Washington State and the entire area of the story takes place there. So it's also where I live.
That is a wide, cavernous vicinity. Plenty of limestone up there. Don't ask me how I know these things. Good, but I probably won't give you a satisfying answer.
How did I leave a half hour ago and still return on a tea discussion? Tea is important to this stream.
I have explained that. Look, I'm sorry to break to you, but Chad has been putting tea in microwaves.
Terrible. Absolutely terrible. All right, does anyone else have anything else they want to throw at me about Alaric?
Yes. Well, I want to say that I really appreciate his elemental mail system.
Yes.
Just feels, warranted.
Should probably actually show you guys the cast list, shouldn't I? That might help and give you guys some giggles. Do you guys want to know the cast list, or would you like that to be a surprise when the radio drama actually comes out?
No, they want to know.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. Because some people might be like, no, don't tell me. Let it be a surprise. I like to give chat options. Doctor Who is saying no. Do not spoil. Okay. We will not spoil. We will not spoil. It will be a surprise when it comes out. What I am happy to tell you though is I have cast somebody for the role of Sebastian.
Excellent. A single.
I have cast somebody for Sebastian.
Good. I mean, fine. I guess that if somebody has to get involved.
Yes, Doctor Who will be doing a brief forward. He has a role in it, and then there's some stuff at the end that will be more extensive. We know who you cast for the Ficus. Did I tell you guys already? I mean, I know you know, Mo. Quite a few people who are close to me know. I'm not sure if I told chat as a whole who's been cast for the Ficus. Have you cast a Monstera as Sebastian? You'll have to wait and find out. You will have to find out.
I'm seething. I'm just doing it quietly.
Right, let's write up Alaric then. So we've got some things here. So for a description of Alaric Ward. So factually, lead male of the story, Ilkhan / leader of the planet, and a reformed Star League in a precarious position as new conqueror. Personality is Rye. Stick up his ass. He has a dry, consistent, arrogant tone, but with a very understated and dry. Well, I've used dry already. Very understated and sharp sense of humour that comes across in very blandly, well, not bland, that's the wrong word. Very precisely delivered lines. He is serious, headstrong,
Laconic.
confident,
Laconic is a wonderful word.
but also very laconic and not prone to over-emoting even his outbursts.
Yes. 12 points to 12
Knows
points.
how
Person who knows
to
where
deviate.
the word laconic came from.
Okay, I think that will sum up Alaric pretty well. Which means, let me move chat suggestions up one. There we go. Davendra will be our next character. So if you'd like to start dropping similar thoughts for Davendra, I will get her file pulled up.
Self-righteous comes to mind. Very good. Lacedaemonian.
Self-righteous is a good word. I will drop that one in a moment. Where is Davendra? Here she is. Open with Google Docs.
So far as to say that idealistic doesn't even begin to describe her. Karen in training. Yes.
The original, she is absolutely a Karen. Oh my goodness, that's not correct. No. You know what? I did this wrong. Let's do it this way.
Yes, her original version was a Karen. Now she is a wine mom.
Yes, crazy cat lady. All right, where
Crazy
it
ficus
is.
lady. Do not besmirch the cats.
Ah, there we go. It's right at the top. All right, remove link, and then we're going to want this to be Scrivener Y.
Hate.
Thank you. There we go. Yes, mostly hate.
Very oriented, self-righteous, self-centered. Very close. Yes.
Right, there we go. Okay, now we can work with this. All right, let's come and see what chat has to say. Oh, goodness, people have... Oh, okay. Parallax got back to me. All right, let's see. Scroll up a bit.
What could possibly go wrong?
Lady Red, could you record Aiden's reaction to the Gen Con care package when it arrives? I can try. It will purely depend on who gets to the mailbox first. All right, Karen in training. Yeah, we certainly the original was like that. And firm as our Darvendra is, she does have some flex to her, thank God.
It's not made of complete stupid. Just mostly.
Okay, the sort of woman who would struggle to be a cat lady because they have their own minds about things. Darvendra has lost an argument with a ficus.
They're not wrong. They're not wrong.
Doc
I
says,
played the fifth.
career-oriented, self-righteous, self-sacrificing, very concerned with her role and with the consequences if she fails. Yeah, there's definitely some very accurate statements in there. Convinced she has the best plan to tackle the problem, but is open to well-reasoned if forceful feedback. Okay, let's see what else we got. Davendra, capable of constantly being judged by a plant. The plant is often correct, often without a modicum of self-reflection until she runs it into a notably clean sliding door. She licks the window of self-awareness, but refuses to pass through.
Our chat is the best chat at all ever. And I know, I've checked.
All right.
Lick.
Anything else you folks want to say about Davendra? If not, we will draw from what we've got. And my apologies to anybody who might happen to have strolled into chat today and has not read the Hungry Like the Wolf rewrite that we did. If anybody has not seen it and wants it, it is in the Orcs.
Jealousy. Deep-seated jealousy at their good fortune.
Oh, Doc has one more. Our chat is the best chat, with all others having been tried. Yeah, this is the best community on Twitch.
No, I've opened a book. Look, I went up to Whacker. I've opened the Book of Ages, and I've checked. Look, no questions. Best chat at all ever.
Okay.
Sorry.
Let's write.
It's a heavy burden. It's a heavy burden.
It is.
And you'll have to survive with it.
Okay, Davendra Elstone is the female lead of the story. She is the newly appointed CEO of a crisis recovery organization and didn't ever entirely want the role. She is young, idealistic, firm in her convictions, and doing her best. She is the sort of lady who never had time for romance when she was younger, and by this point has put the idea out of her mind entirely until Alaric happens. Personality-wise, she is firm. Let's see what else we said. She's firm, self-sacrificing, often somewhat self-righteous. I don't want to say she's self-righteous as a whole because she can be talked around, as Doc did point out. She's firm, self-sacrificing, also somewhat self-righteous, very morally certain in herself and others, often irrespective of practicality, but does have her heart in the right place. She wants a better world for everyone, and she isn't afraid to yell at the manager if needed to get that. I think that should work. What do we think? Does that work for Davendra?
Yeah, I mean,
Begrudgingly pragmatic. That's a good way to put things, yes. She is begrudgingly pragmatic and can be reasoned around to other ways of doing things. Okay, excellent. So our next one then is going to be Sarkhan Chance Vickers. I am going to grab her file and copy it over, and then I'm going to go and make sure my dogs are not doing something they shouldn't be, and then we'll do Chance Vickers. So let's grab her stuff. Here she is, open with Google Docs. And okay, I've just opened Chance's file, and editor Paladin Rose has already put a note in that will have to be preserved for Chance Vickers. Not paid enough for this shit.
No.
All right, I'm going to go and quickly
No,
check on the
they are
dogs
not.
and then see what you guys have to say when I come back. I should be right back.
Yes. Give them homework. Well, Chance Vickers. Yes. What do we say about Chance Vickers? For the job. More overqualified. Has somewhat British accent in my brain. I don't know why. The most likely person to hit you over the head with a walking cane in any given room, despite being perfectly fit. Pacing stick. Right, of course.
They had gone quiet because all three of them are sunbathing in a cuddle puddle on the back lawn, which is very adorable.
The adorableness level is problematic.
There we go. Right, what do you guys have to say about Chance?
Yes, people. What have you to say for yourself?
All right. She would use a pacing thing. Goalie for the idiot ball. No, for goodness. God damn it. Thank you, Twitch. Behave yourself. I'm trying to copy and paste, not do weird AI search functions. Thank you. See, what else have we got? Wishes everybody else took their jobs as seriously as she did. Yes. Dramatically overqualified and drastically underappreciated. Extremely aware of this fact. Yes, I think she gets that point across through the book, was that there are not enough smothering pillows in the world. Cursed to bear witness to two morons tap dancing around feelings like awkward 12-year-olds while trying to manage a budding empire's core of being beholden to one of said morons. That's definitely true of the original. They're slightly less appalling in the rewrite, but yes. Long-suffering and likely better served killing their superior. I mean, yes, that was the hope with the assassination attempts that just did not go through to the point where she just gave up. And also because pacing for the book. If we kept playing the same joke over and over, it wouldn't be funny anymore. All right, let's start writing Chance up. Chance Vickers is Sarkhan to Alaric Ward, and therefore sort of technically second in command to running the entire Reborn Star League. As is often I can spell, I swear. As is often the case for second in commands, she is more competent at it than her boss, and long suffering as a result. She is absolutely not paid enough for this shit. Personality-wise, she comes off as pragmatic, professional, fastidious, for doing her job to a T. Fastidious. Often the straight, sane man to the idiocies of those around her, and wishes everyone else would behave as sensibly. She is aware she is very qualified, often not as appreciated as she could be, and delivers her awareness of this in very sculpted sentences. All right.
Very sharp remarks.
Slash
Point.
sharp remarks at just the right time. There we go. Technically, our female lead for our second pair absolutely has a thing for Colonel James, but it's played very understated in this book. There we go. All right, that should cover Chance Vickers. Let's see if there's anything I've missed from Chance. Sarkhan Vickers, the real heroine of this story, who is saddled with the burden of being more competent than her superior. Yes. Silicon Soul says, it looks like you're trying to plagiarize via copy-paste. Would you like help with that? I'm just borrowing from chat's suggestions to write my own thing. It's fine. Please, Clippy, put the gun down. Why do I get that Vickers has a better understanding of sex, romance, and emotions than anyone else in this book, but is too professional to discuss it because this is a job and she hella separates work and personal life? Yes! Which is why she enjoys having coffee with Colonel James.
Yes.
Is she the power behind the throne? I mean, she's certainly the sensible paperwork behind the throne, if nothing else. The rest of it would be down to how willing Catalyst would be to allow me to completely rewrite how the hell they handled everything to do with Alaric Ward, which is 0%, but oh my god, they could have done some great writing there, and it just sadly did not happen.
Is Vickers an older, more soldier-like version of Mags?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
though she doesn't do quite such hilarious things with paperwork.
She does do all the things with coffee, though.
Yes. Kai says, Alaric, I am burdened by glorious purpose. Chance. Look, just let him run on. He'll quieten down in a minute. While he's talking, he's busy. You can just sign this paperwork and we can get this treaty ratified and finished. And then we can all go home before dinner time for once. Coffee is sometimes a euphemism. They initially started having normal coffee because coffee is a fact of life and very important. And by the end, they were having coffee. Because it's one bad day away from a burnout. She is one bad day away from taking her personal mech out and just seeing how much damage she can do with it before anyone stops her. All right, I think that will sort Vickers for us for now. I'm happy with that. We can take that line out because we have incorporated it. We will now need to move on to our next character, which is Colonel James. Colonel William James, who just has 2 first names for a whole name. Let me go and get his file pulled up. Where is he? Colonel James. Which also has a note from my editor, which is wonderful. Let's open this up and copy it. Come on, Google Docs, you can do it. I believe in you. The note from the editor is, believes he is the sane man in this story.
He's wrong.
He's saner than many, but yes, he's not necessarily the sane man in this story. All right, have at it, chat. Let me know what you think about Colonel William James. I am going to go and... The way you said Colonel James the first time totally had the same cadence as my boyfriend. I mean, it's Vicar's boyfriend. Not that the 2 of them would ever admit it. Just going to go and double check on the dogs again while you guys let me know what you think. And then we'll write all that down and we'll do that bit.
Yes. Let's go.
Good thing I went out that time. A little bit was digging a hole.
Oh, no.
No
Diggy
diggy hole in the backyard. She wasn't trying to dig under the fence, though, so at least there's that.
There's that.
All right, let's see. What has chat had to say?
Well, wonders why his superior is not as structured as he's used to in the military, which is nice.
I don't know if I'd call him that way, simply because in my head, the way that I was treating him and writing him was that he's been retired from the military for long enough, and he's probably just been doing this for all that. He kind of knows that a humanitarian organization does not run the same way as the military. I guess in my head, I kind of had a feeling like he was a friend of Darvendra's father. And, you know, because I feel like Darvendra's parents are dead. Because they're never mentioned and they don't matter. And I just feel like that her parents are dead. And that James is kind of keeping an eye on her and doing the things he's doing because her father asked him to as, like, you know, a dying wish or whatever. She's like Darvendra's godfather. Like, just keep an eye on her. So that's how I view him in my head. That's how I was viewing him as I was writing him. I don't know if that comes across or not.
It feels, it does feel somewhat valid.
Okay,
I mean,
let's copy
he
some
definitely
here.
cares, and he points out when she's being stupid, but he doesn't actually go out of his way to stop her when her ideas will be compromised. So I do remember the whole thing about that.
that would play very much into that whole sort of Godfather view that I have of him as well. Is she needs to make her own mistakes and learn from it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was indeed doing a dig a hole, dig a hole, dig a hole, and no, no, dig a hole in nice new yard.
No. Nice new yard. Good. No hole, dig. Dig no hole.
Okay, let's see. Anything else I need to pick up from here? Her parents are dead and she's making it everyone's problems. I mean, in the original, her parents being dead would explain why she is just so obnoxious. She's just had absolutely no role models for her whole life. And oh God, I hate the Darvendra in the original. I hate her so much. She is loathsome in every way. Yes, very much fatherless behaviour. Fatherless and I was left a large inheritance behaviour.
The level of entitlement is over 9,000.
Yes. Original Darvendra is just the worst. I mean, Alaric in that is very much how people normally view Alaric, unless they've read the ridiculous rewrite that we did. And he ends up coming across as more likeable purely because occasionally he tells Darvendra to shut up. She is so awful, she makes him look better by comparison. And she's hobbyless, yes. Original Darvendra does not make adorable little miniature dioramas and talk to her ficus about them. Ours paints minis and is awesome. And yeah. Okay, let's do a write-up for Colonel James then. Colonel James is a retired military man who supports Darvendra as a companion and mentor figure as she navigates the story. He is long since retired from service and acts as something of a godfather to Darvendra, giving her advice, allowing her space to make her own mistakes and grow, and is probably in this position as a favour to her father before he passed. He replaces a father figure. Personality-wise, James is pretty sane and straight. And okay, pretty sane and a second straight man akin to Chance Vickers. Knows his profession well and tends to be direct after all his years serving in the military. He is fairly affable, sometimes reserved. But has the sort of less fucks to give attitude that comes from age and experience. He will call a spade, to use a Britishism. Okay. He is also technically our second male lead for our second couple, as he enjoys conversation with Vickers, who is very much in the same boat as him. And this leads to coffee. There we go. That should cover Colonel James. Let's see what chat's saying. OG Darvendra is a one-dimensional twig of a character. Her entire personality in the original book is she's not like other girls, she's better than them. And that's it. And yes, Darvendra does sexually assault Colonel James in the original book in the opening chapter. And it's awful. Man, I'm glad we rewrote this book to be better.
Yes, no bueno.
Alrighty, let's see. Who do we have next on our list that will be interesting to write up?
I will sadly have to dip out now.
That is fair enough.
I wish you all to make very good art, and everyone keep Lady Red on her toes. The dogos are not enough. Let loose the singulo. Don't mention it. Bye.
Bye. All right, let's do Fred Collier next. He is the Australian department head for Crescent and Cross. Let's get him opened up and get him a file thrown in because he actually has a personality, and is a major player. So let's put him in. Fred Collier. Let's grab his lines. Editor's note just says blimey. All right. What do we want to say about Fred Collier, our comedic man to all of this? Let's see. What does chat have to say? All right. Questions about who's coming up next. Let me pop over into the Legion and see what is being said. I know quite often it has been top of the hour that Tex and BB have been available, so we will see. BB says that she is not feeling her best right now, but she's hoping to feel better shortly. So we'll carry on until at least half past the hour, and then we'll figure things out from there. Maybe do one or two more of these and see how it's going. Introspective, that is indeed a very good summation of original Darvendra, yes. Okay, Doctor Who says, aggressively affable Australian. That is a very, very good. Simple sum up there. Let's see what else have people had to say. Violently Australian. Don't you mean vibrantly? Yes, that too. Collier is not a violent man, thankfully. A long string of Australian stereotypes. If he were any more Aussie, he'd be shitting koalas. So I see we have ascribed to him the personality of Australia. Very good at his job, despite loving jokes a bit too much. His co-workers complain. Yes, that's very on brand for how we wrote him. Because he doesn't have a personality in the original. He just says a couple of lines to enable Darvendra to do the things that she's doing. So we did try to actually give him a personality in this one. Has unironically said, "I'm not here to fuck spiders." That is a very him line. Okay, I think I know how we can write Fred up. Fred Collier is the department head for the Australian and New Zealand areas of Crescent and Cross operations. He is an accomplished manager who is currently dealing with not only a new CEO, not only the new peace established on the back of war, but also his region of the world being lower priority than others due to the current season. He is managing a lot on his own so as not to burden Davendra as she gets her feet under her. Personality-wise, he is an extremely affable man, prone to jokes and very attached to cultural colloquialisms from his native homeland. I should just say from his homeland. That doesn't need overstressing that way. His homeland. He is a good listening ear for Darvendra and uses humor and timing to help her see elements of herself and her decisions she is glossing over. Okay, I think that mostly covers him. He is surprisingly shrewd, but expresses this through humor and light heartedness. Okay, let's see what else have you guys had to say, if there's anything that I've missed. Fred, despite everything, sees the best in people and wishes nothing but the best for them, even if they are actively hurting themselves. Yes, that's a very, very accurate line for him. Let's add that on. How else are you going to know he's an off? He's got to be as stereotypical and over the top as possible. It also masks how bad things are in his section. Yeah, it's very much that last part for Fred. I really liked him as a character as I wrote him. Now, whether that's because I was writing particularly well or I'm just huffing my own farts or whatever, I don't know. But I feel like Fred is the kind of person that everybody would benefit from having as a friend. He's very secure in himself, very competent and very capable of managing things without making it everybody else's problems. This guy says you just like the Aussies, you know. Kai, of the two Aussies that I spend extensive time with, I spend 90% of my time with one of them threatening to kill him. In inventive and creative ways. And yes, he's one of my best friends. The other one turns up here in chat to do exactly what Fred does and make me aware of things that I gloss over in myself. How could you, Kai? Yes, it does mean deep love. I very much adore both of my Aussie friends, and one of them has been with me since I was like 20, which is a long time to have to put up with me. Alrighty, I think that covers Fred. Let's do at least one more before we have to finish up for the day and see how things are going. I think our next person is... let's take a look. Let's close this one and see who our other options are. We could do Marcus Schneider. No, I know who we need to do, who's really important. I definitely want you guys to have input on. Kin Liu. Our bad guy. What do we do with her? What do we want to write up for her? Because she's kind of important, and I'm very excited to see who the person I've chosen for her, how they voice her. It's going to be an interesting one. Right, on here, I want chat suggestions. On this side, I want Kinlu. Okay, let's grab her lines. Editor's note just says, angry. I think we can expand on that one a bit. All right, what do we think for Kin? Final stage, Karen. Yes. She doesn't just want to see the manager, she brought a bazooka with her. Slytherin behaviour. Alright, what else have we got? What else have we got that we can pull from? She is very upset that her opinions and suggestions are not being considered, as she has the numbers that prove her partner is superior. Yeah, that's pretty good. What else do we have for her? I'm really hoping this audiobook will come together sensibly, and the way that I'm handling it will end up being smooth and easy for everyone. We have an HR issue arriving. Yeah, she is the kind of person that if HR sees her coming towards their door, will immediately go on lunch break. I feel like Kin would be very reasonable if she didn't have a lot of trauma. I think that's very much how I was sort of feeling her as I was writing her, because she is just as over-the-top villainous in the original, if not more so. She's very Saturday morning cartoon villain in the original, and, you know, we've kind of pursued similar with the remake version of her. But yeah, I think that's the way that I feel about her, is that something has happened with her area in her life, or her family, or her region, or something has happened where she's taking this a lot more personally than everybody else. Like she has some kind of trauma, indeed, that is very much playing into this. Feels slighted that the way the line of succession happened. Yes, Davendra was only one seat ahead of her, a technicality she simmers about. Yes, and if we had, you know, more time to sort of truly explore the story that we did, really building Kin out more would have been the place to start, with making it a fuller book. Because ultimately what we wrote was a novella. That's what the original is. I mean, the original barely counts as a novella. It just about gets there. What we wrote was a novella. If we were writing a full novel, the depth of Kin would be where we would really build things out in a stronger, deeper sense, to make her decisions make more sense, and to deepen the drama of the story that we were telling. Okay, we've got some good ideas here, so let's try that. And the manager refused to see her, and she made it an everyone problem. Basically, yes, that is kind of what happened, yes. Oh, she wasn't happy that the manager was who the manager was. That's the issue. Okay. Kin Liu is a senior director at Crescent and Cross when the book starts, and is very upset that she did not become the new CEO. Did not become the CEO. She is also carrying a lot of trauma from deaths in her area of the world during the war. Which makes her far too personally, emotionally invested in the challenges facing the company after the conquest. Personality-wise, Kin is a very strong, firm, opinionated woman who does not back down from opposing views. She is also not very receptive to compromising language and behavior. Extremely competent. She is nevertheless very inflexible and carries a nasty streak that shows as personal jabs at individuals when she loses her temper. She is, in short, a final stage Karen who is furious at the world, and most furious of all that the manager she wishes to bitch to is Alaric Ward. Okay, let's see what you guys think about that. She's Darvendra, but a Darvendra that doesn't listen to reason. Yes, which is, when you're writing this kind of story, exactly what you should be doing if you're going to have this kind of dynamic. It's that whole thing of, but for one bad day, you and I would be exactly the same. We are so alike. But it's then digging into, if this was a full novel, it would be digging into why that's not the case. Why she has these certain elements to her that were the reason that her worst came forward instead of her best, whereas for Darvendra, her best came forward. She doesn't ask for a manager, she declares a bachal against the manager. No, because she would not accept using that ridiculous word from those stupid people who don't belong on my planet. And of course, the way we carried through how Kin is different from Darvendra as more than just the bad day is that she does have that moment where she uses personal slurs against Darvendra. Darvendra never does that back. Even when she's at her most furious with Kin, she never takes that kind of personal jab back. And that's the kind of literary technique you use to allude to those things. Yeah, she's so full of trauma, her unfiltered rage bubbles over as Rude snipes at those around her not doing the right thing right this second. Yes. Okay, I think that covers Kin. Right, let me take a quick look over at WBPL. Let's take a look. Alright, there's been nothing specific from BB one way or another about intention to stream, so we'll do one more, if there's one more that's worth doing, and then probably call it for the week, but I'm not sure whether you guys will have a BB today or not. We'll have to see how she's going when the time comes. Alright, so Kinlu was very important. Who else do we want to detail out? Do we want a sensible one or a silly one to finish out the week with? Do you want a sensible one or a silly one? Silly? Want a silly one? Alright, let's do Technician Hale, who is responsible for Crop Chopper Supreme and Little Plowboy 3. Let's do him. Where is Technician Hale? Here. He doesn't have many lines. He only has a few lines. We have an editor's note for him, but we will do Technician Hale. The editor's note for him is 5-time winner of the Inner Sphere's Greatest Mech Name competition. Although it wouldn't be the Inner Sphere, it would be Clan Wolf. But, alright. How do we want to write up Technician Hale? I mean, we don't even really need to write him up because he was based on Squick and he's being voiced by Squick. So I'm literally just going to point a microphone at Squick and say, hey, deliver these lines as if you said them. So it's just Squick. What do we want to say? Let's get some Technician Hale out of our systems. That would be the easiest write-up for him. If Squick was a clan tech. He doesn't need direction. He's fine as is. Yes, because when we wrote Technician Hale, we were literally writing Squig. Alright, let's start writing this up. Alright. Technician Hale is... disturbingly competent at his job, and knows exactly how much to do to keep the bosses off his ass to his shenanigans. He is a mech tech for Clan Wolf, and the 5-time winner of the clan's greatest mech name competition. He is Squick if Squick was a mech tech. Squick, just read these as you. Let's see what else you guys are saying. No, he does keep winning the Inner Sphere. That's how good the names are. Squick, but without contractions. The author's Squick insert character. I'm glad you guys are having fun. Oh dear. This competition is not an honour you want on your codex. Hale doesn't care and loves it anyway. Oh, I did have some fun writing him and coming up with the very, very, very stupid names of the mechs. Well, what else did we have? Shovel Goblin. There was a range in here. We might have to do that as a competition maybe next year, is maybe do an art competition and have people draw the different aggro mechs and industrial mechs. We could all use a Squick insert character. The levity makes things so much better. Yes, I agree. Squicksert, it sounds both professional and naughty. Yes. Yes, it does. Alrighty, I think we will wrap things up here. I appreciate you guys letting me witter about how I'm trying to put together this audiobook / radio drama that has become so much more than we ever intended. All because one person sent me a terrible book to read. And you guys are just lucky I did not decide to apply this same level of effort to The Last Vampire on Earth, because Neff sent me that. And that would have been an even worse time to try and fix. That book is just, oh my god, awful. So yes, we are fortunate that we just let this book go to stupid levels, and you know, next year's going to be an exciting year. We'll have finally be completely done with Hungry Like the Wolf, because the radio drama will be complete. The little bonus thing, if you guys meet the Goob Drive within the month, will be complete. Next year, I'm planning on doing something really stupid. I'm planning on writing a book with an intended audience of one specific person. If other people happen to enjoy it as well, excellent. But the intended audience will be one man and one man only. So that will be interesting to learn from and see where that goes. And who knows what else we'll write. Maybe we'll start writing The Real Housewives of Solaris 7 at long last. Maybe we'll be writing something else Shoal-based. We will have to wait and see. I don't know. It's going to be a crazy year, and I hope all of you will be here for it. I do not think you have the energy that isn't rage to try and fix Last Vampire on Earth. Last Vampire on Earth. I mean, the problem we're trying to fix that one is it already exists. It's Twilight. And the problem we're trying to fix that is that already exists. It's Guilty Pleasures. And the problem we're trying to fix that is at that point I might as well just write my own vampire novel, which incidentally I am. So... I am never rewriting Empress Teresa. That was a conversation I had with Stormsong. For those of you who don't know, one of the worst books in existence is Empress Teresa by Norman Bouton. It is 400 pages of unbelievable creationist drivel and delusion. That includes many things that should absolutely not be in print. And the problem we're trying to fix that one is there's nothing there to fix. Because the core premise of the story is so juvenile and stupid and personal to the author that wrote it, who was definitely writing the whole book with only one hand. There's just nothing there worth saving. Twilight you can rewrite because there are enough interesting elements there that weren't explored very well that you can write an interesting story. And with my book club, the way that we were going to rewrite that one was we were going to turn it into a buddy cop romance story where the romance is all to do with oh god, what's his name? Edward Cullen's father, in inverted commas. Him, the retired police chief that Jacob is the son of or whatever, and Bella's dad. They were going to be like the three that we explored because that would have been just much more fun. Because there were good enough elements there that you could play with all of that. So that's how we would have rewritten Twilight. We've already rewritten Hungry Like the Wolf, and that came out well, and that's been a fun time. Empress Teresa, there's nothing there to work with. There's just nothing. So yes, that one's not getting rewritten. God knows what next year we will end up writing, though, but I'm sure it will be stupid. I am sure we'll all be here together along the way to do so, and we will see what happens. Okay, there have been confirmation we will not, unfortunately, be having a BB stream today. She is under the weather, so we will not be being joined by BB and Tex as soon as I clear off and let you all have your afternoon back. But I believe Bulk will be here later on with the farm crew. So you guys have some free time. Go off, enjoy yourselves, hydrate, please. And I'll hopefully see you here on Sunday. I think Housecar has got WBPLW all back on the rails and doing the things that it's supposed to do. So hopefully we will wrestle this weekend. And if nothing else, I will see you here next week to see just how we solved all of the problems we'd reached in our novel and if that is pleasing or not. And we'll go from there. Have a good afternoon. I'm going to clear off, pet these dogs, have something to eat. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. And I will see you next time.